I would like to invite right now to me to the stage 3 people from different branches and 1 journalist. I will start, ladies first, with Ms. Ruby Ahmed. She's head of CSR of the Bangladesh Steel Re-Rolled Mill. Please welcome. Furthermore, I would like to introduce here Abu Saidi from Radiant Pharmaceuticals. Please. And then the most well-known journalist from the Channel 71, Mr. Kazi Aziz. Please welcome him. And then finally, Aziz. Please, come on. So, boarding completed. And I'm happy that you are here right now. And we want to step into this field of corporate citizenship in that way that all of you should understand a little bit better what they have in mind if they talk on the one side, as we right now saw it in the film, about the greening of the factory, of the branch, of the trade, in the textile business, and on the other side, what these companies undertaken in order to give a little bit back to the society. So therefore, I would like to start, ladies first once again, with Rudy. Please tell us a little bit about your company and then about your actions.
Thank you, Michael, for having me here. We are in steel business, and my goal is to prove that steel has a heart. So CSR represents the emotional aspect of our company, especially our chairman's personal commitment to the society. It's a third generation company, business house. The mill was set up by chairman's father and uncle. Then our chairman Ali Hussain Akbar Ali joined it. Then his son joined it. So since serving the nation since 1952. And what was your
About yourself?
Oh, myself.
Two sentences.
Well, I was a banker all my life. I worked for Indus Bank, then I joined Greenleaf Bank, then HSBC, then Dhaka Bank, and my last assignment was in Canada, Scotia Bank. So I never thought that I would come work change my profession, and I think it's my destiny which has brought me here. So I'm now working as a CSR in BSRM. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sahidi. So you are joined your company when, and when the company was established here in Bangladesh?
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum and good evening in front of my all viewers. And thanks for the BGCCI for calling me here. I am from Radiant Pharmaceuticals Limited. I joined here, it is actually a family company. My elder brother is the chairman, and now I am responsible as an executive director here. So, any other else?
So when was the company founded?
Oh, the Radiant Pharmaceuticals, actually it is almost a young company. It is formed in 2008 with the joint collaboration of a Swiss company, that is Hoffmann La Roche. We are manufacturing the Roche medicines in Bangladesh, and as well our own medicines.
So, and then the fourth member in this round is Mr. Aziz. So could you introduce shortly?
Kazi Azizul Islam. I'm a journalist. I started working in newspaper. I worked there more than 12 years, and then I came to broadcast industry. I'm business editor of Ekattu Television now. And throughout in my 16 or 17 years business journalism career, I covered mainly textile industry, foreign investment, and growing export industries in the country. That is my expertise.
And you made a lot of stories about the CSR activities?
Yeah, that's very interesting. I'm lucky that I've been working in this industry during a time when Bangladesh textile industry was growing, and it's growing still now. But you know, the CSR, the perception what I observed 15 years back, and now the reality is different. 15 years back, CSR was donation, charity to religious, many things. Right? Now, industry is understanding that the CSR is a responsible part of the business operation, not in only in business, in the long run, it financially. But you know, I should tell you experience. In November, I was in Copenhagen to interview the world #1 CEO, Mr. Larsen. He was the CEO, #1 CEO ranked by the Harvard Business Review. What he told me about that, you know, who made you the #1? He told me that my company made me #1. How? Because we noticed on CSR activities to responsible manufacturing, responsible marketing, everything, we invested financially, and in the long run, it was not our in vain investment. In the long run, it turned out financially, and he helped me a lot about to understanding CSR and what is the and the last part, you know, he told me that why we are you are investing and why you are want to be a very responsible company. He told me that I want to be the best corporate citizen of Denmark. I want to be the best corporate citizen of the world. Really, it's a very simple and very precise definition that I did not found in books. And in Bangladesh, I think this is time. Corporate citizenship really, it's a very preliminary term in Bangladesh. CSR is understood by the industries. Many people want and they understand that they need to do CSR. But to me, why the definition is simple? We want to be the best corporate citizen of Bangladesh, best corporate citizen for in the world. How we should work? What is the duty of a citizen? A citizen is abided by to the state, and he gives something and he takes in return. And these way they contribute each other. The state serve him or her, and he or she serve the state. For what? For his company only? No. In sustainable way, why we make CSR or not only CSR in, you know, corporate CSR is the only one part of corporate citizenship activities. There are many responsibilities. If we want to do...
Assis, that's exactly that we want to discuss all over.
Yeah.
Make one last sentence and then I want to go through the round.
And this is the time, I think, to understand the corporate citizenship, because Bangladesh economy is growing. This is time to learn.
Exactly. Thank you. So then we will go once again back to the starting point. We have this nice piece in the movie here that you show how you treat, how you build up the whole factory, how you treat the people all via personal protection equipment, and then we show the canteen and all these activities. That's exactly that. So the branch understood what should happen in order to run the business in a really sustainable way. So I would like to keen, and the audience maybe as well, what you are doing else in order to give something back to the society, because this is closely focused to your workforce and in order to increase your efficiency at all, but what you are doing else in order to say, okay, I want to give something back, or in what sense you do it.
Well, there are two aspects of our CSR initiatives. One of them is environmental and the other is social. If we focus on the environmental aspect of a CSR, it's mainly ecological concerns. It's to reduce to improve our carbon footprints as a company. And we feel that it is a strong commitment, and it is something every company should get into, because Bangladesh is at the forefront of it all. If there's a global warming happening, Bangladesh is the first victim of global warming. So it is our first right as citizens to get involved in CSR activities, especially the environmental aspects. So the environmental aspects is one side. There's the social aspects where we address issues in our society, issues that are directly related to our business. So if I say that where we come from, where our factory is, there is a lot of people who need work, who wants to work, but are not rightly equipped to work. So what we can provide to these people in turn for them to able to come and work and make a living. So that is one of our commitments as CSR activities. We want to build a training center. We actually have acquired the license to build a training center for the people who want to work. So this is going to address an issue which has been there for a long time, and this is a completely non-profit training center. It's built only for people who wants to learn, acquire the necessary skills to work in garment industry. So this whole project is surrounded with the people who are a part of our business as well. They are going to be a part of this training facility, training the people who come in. So in turn, they are volunteering, they are being part of an activity that benefits society altogether.
Thanks. You told me in our chat before that you also have farming ground somewhere else. Is it
yes,
right?
you know what, the CSR, when the whole concept of CSR dawned our mind, we were sort of clueless what we should do. But we understood that we need to do something for the people who are working with us, who are directly related to us. And we understand that, our workers are paid, but sometimes they need extra support. And every year there is inflation, the cost of living goes up, but it doesn't adjust with the wages they get, the wage increase that happens. So we thought that how we can help them in this aspect. So we invested in an agricultural project where we grow vegetables and daily items which a worker would need on a daily basis, and provide them in a rationing position where they can buy it at least at 50% the market rate. So that helped them, but we felt that, okay, this is how long can we go on doing this? We need to do something that addresses the core issue where we can actually equip these workers to be more sustainable with their lifestyle in the future. So investing in education was one of the first things that came into mind when we thought that, okay, now we need to move a step further from what we are doing right now, and that's where this is directed to people which are not your employees, but yes, they can become your employees, so that is really completely isolated from your core business, but maybe it feeds up your business after all. Of course. See, anything we do, it doesn't have to be directly related to the business. It's something that helps the society, and when it helps society, community, the immediate community helps you, because you build your recognition through those activities. People will look up to your company and feel that, okay, they're trying to address an issue, and people who work with you also will be more bonded towards the company, feeling that this company is addressing key issues, and they're giving us education where we had to pay for it. And given Bangladesh does not have much of these training centers. If someone wants to learn basic skills to enter the industry, they do not know where to go and where to get it from. So we are providing that, in a non-profit manner, of course, and they don't have to come back to us. They can go anywhere and use those skills.
Ruhi, so with steel or steel workers have also to feed, of course, but you have a lot of other activities in your basket for corporate citizenship.
At BSRM, we have taken CSR at our core business process. So we have segregated, like we have CSR for community, CSR for BSR employees, and CSR for factory plant itself. Factory plant is like setting air pollution control system so that the environment remains safe. For BSRM employees, like we give them financial assistance for the poor people. We finance their children's education. And for community, we have a number of sustainable projects. We started in 2013. Before that, we were in philanthropies for over 60 years. But our chairman decided that we should have a dedicated department for CSR. That's where we started from 2013. And we have developed the policy, the guidelines, how we do about it. So I'll not talk about the employees and the plant. That's associated with the company itself, the group itself. But for CSR, we look for initiatives. Like we have a school, free school. There are 471 kids of rickshawala, ferrywala. They learn over there We give them free tuition, coaching, computer training. It's from grade 1, nursery to grade 8. So we have taken those kids from the street to the education. So we feel that they will live a meaningful life. Then we have initiated, constructed a training center at the border area, Benapul border area, where women are vulnerable to women trafficking and illegal migration. So we train them, we develop their skill so that they can, and we do all these programs through NGOs. We don't do by ourselves. Like we engage Uttoron, we engage Asian Autism Foundation Welfare, we engage CRP, Center for Paralyzed Rehabilitation. So whatever project we do, we use the expertise and experience, technical capacity of the NGOs. So all our programs are sustainable programs. So like we have given a water in this Sylhet Hill tract, where I went there, I saw that a kid of 8 years, she is pouring a jar, and it takes about 2 hours to fill a jar, and she goes up 200 miles, 200 feet, comes down, and she does 6 trips a day. So 2,400 feet every day she's going up and down and not going to the school. So we have constructed submersible water pump. So there is 1,000 liter tank on the hill. So now she can go to the school and the water problem is solved. So we look for initiatives. We go to NGOs. We read in the newspaper. We ask our people for initiatives. And when we find it, we design it, develop it, and give it to the NGOs. That's how we do our NGOs.
So the crucial thing, I think, is that you always cooperate with NGOs, so experts, you make your research in order to find out who is the best in class and then tackle the issue you have in mind.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, coming to you, Mr. Sahidi, you have a foundation for all your activities. Please tell us a little bit more about this foundation and the activities you carry out. Located in Naranganj, so highly local. You spread your engagement over the whole country here, and I think the same is for Radiant the case, so that you have a lot of activities not only in Dhaka or Chittagong or close to your factories, you have spread them.
Yeah, it's spread all over. In Mymensingh, in Jashore, we are spreading. And sometimes it actually depends on connection and the demands. Actually, sometimes. Okay, some areas actually they are demanding some nose people, such as demanding as you are Jaydeep Foundation through do, we need it there. So it is spreading day by day. And okay, sports and education. Education recently we have introduced in our in Jhinai a autistic school which is fully supported by our company through the Jaydeep Foundation. Like they say, we are doing that. So here I should tell that. Still, we should lot of things to do to be a good corporate citizen. So my opinion is that we are trying, who are present here, still who are not trying, let we try all together.
Good.
Anyway.
So maybe that will be the conclusion of this panel then, how you can interact, how you can share experiences. So one last round here. If you think about your engagement, Uruhi, what are the hurdles you are facing in all this time? So you are working right now for the last 2.5 years, or
3 years.
3 years, round about 3 years, yeah.
My greatest challenge was when I joined the company, I didn't know what to do. Because when I got this offer, I didn't even know what CSR stands for. So I went to the Googles and so how can I help you? How can I help the company? Then I have been in a corporate bank all the time, so I knew how to do projects, how to evaluate, how to analyze, how to implement, how to monitor. Then that's came with me, but it took me about 6 to 7 months to find the way to do it. So when I started thinking, first I started myself, then I said, no, I don't have the expertise to go to the villages and understand the pulse of the people and organize them. Then I decided we have to go through NGOs who has this expertise and experience. That's how I started doing it.
So educated in the bank business, so you always are keen on fact and figures, and that means that you look what is the impact really, what it turns out.
It has to impact the lives of the people.
Yeah.
So if we start a program, initially it impacts say 500 people, and we want to take as a pilot project and repeat it when it is successful, and we have done that. So it impacts many more lives than originally started.
Right. Mr. Assis, so if really from the outside, because you are accompanying all these kind of activities, you perform interviews with employers. So what is your perception right now? Is there also a movement here in Bangladesh in regard to all these activities? Because what I know is that everybody, every factory owner, they try to support a school at least, or have for medicine. So make a little bit. What is your perception? Is there a movement that they will doing more here in Bangladesh, or that they are influenced from outside?
Definitely, German people are now feeling, organizations are feeling, feeling that we should support Bangladesh to become socially responsible, as their factories, as their owners become socially responsible, and in the long run, this responsibility will come to Germany, interpreting German market. The pressure will be lessened to them from stakeholders to become socially responsible. What I perceive for past many years.
And we actually did that by investing in dye houses, which reduce our water consumption by 1/3. So in turn, that reduces the raw materials that goes into the process, and in turn, it reduces the waste reduction that is coming out, because whatever we are letting out, it gets let out in the environment immediately. So we don't dump that water in some other part of the world. We dump it near us, and the people who live near us are the first ones to get affected. So we make sure that whatever we use is absolutely minimized. We reduce our energy consumption by actually involving ourselves with these smart technologies, recycling heat, recycling water through collecting rainwater and then reusing it for our other purposes. And so this is something we are doing, and everybody is doing, but it's not catching much ground because nobody is interested in that.
A growth strategy in mind, and you will carry out it in also the whole country. So if you double the export volume, you have to reduce by 50%, but that will be not enough, because you have to think then in cycles in order to reuse the water, because that the water consumption really goes down. Otherwise, the people will suffer.
Exactly. Yeah, a lot. As she said that they built a water pump.
Promotion. So we have taken measures for gas, electricity, water. We have all that in our, and we could have avoided it for a few years, then go into it. But our chairman is very ethical person. If you meet him, then you'll understand. He wants ethics, transparency. So BSRM takes care of that.
Okay, transparency will be a next issue which we cannot discuss right now here. Sahidi, last question to you. If you think about these aspects, so make the company sustainable and then act all.
Compliance division, every time when whatever it is requiring, what development it is coming, and they're doing this.
I think as a take-home message for all of you, and before we open the stage here for questions from the audience, we can say that companies in Bangladesh, of course, should first of all start with all the activities in order to make their business sustainable in regard to all the key performance indicators defined by the leadership for energy and efficiency design from US or to other strict standards. But at the end of the day, energy consumption, water consumption should be always carried out really serious. So, and then, of course, because there are so many people living here in Bangladesh, you can do the approach to make it really local, as you did it, or you can spread it out the whole country. You will find at every place somebody and some else who can do. So Rui, before we close here, my question to you right now, what is your personal specific definition?
All good humanity that is lead to meaningful life, and a corporate and individual citizen can practice this, and CSR should be care, support and respect for each other, and that whatever we have, limited resources, if we engage that in these three words for these purposes, then we are going to the right directions.
I would like to open the stage for the audience. If there are some questions coming up, I do not see anything right now. Councillor, where are you? So, are there any questions right now?
My name is Johannes Merck from the Otto Group, a German retail group. I would like to ask you, maybe Mr. Assis or the others too, what do you think where the real responsibility is? What CSR is, and this was one, this is now over here. Oh, no, it's still on. This was a wonderful explanation, I think, care, support and respect. But this is highly voluntary so far, yeah? But still it's a business case. CSR is a business case. We needed to convince our customers and our suppliers too sometime, but still it is more or less voluntary. So who is the real driver behind? And I have two groups of people who, or institutions who could be these drivers. On the one hand, the entrepreneur himself, and here my question would be, how is the situation here in Bangladesh? How do you estimate the entrepreneurs really feel this responsibility, not just here on a conference like this, but widely in the whole community? And would you distinguish between family entrepreneurs maybe and those who are hired managers from stock noted companies maybe? And the other group or the other institution, of course, would be the government. So how far is the government able and willing to support these corporate citizen or even corporate social responsibility activities, not just by demanding, but also by helping and supporting what the entrepreneurs and the companies do?
Partial answer. The government will, as far as I understand, the government won't be able to press the corporates or entrepreneurs to do it because they are paying taxes. They are abiding by the laws and the environment. So it's the personal, what you call that, energy and passion for taking the responsibility. Actually, if we call it responsibility, then it's, again, my personal opinion, there is always a room for negligence. If there are 4 brothers, one brother will say, he can take responsibility. I'm the little one, I don't have to take it. So I don't think responsibility is the right term, but it is a kind of commitment, very personal commitment, and that will drive the people who are on the steering of the running the business. So if their personal intent and mindset is changed and could be changed, and they see that if you do good, it comes back to you, then I think everyone will be doing it.
Okay, I will add something. Maybe it could be a compliment. Just CSR, I think it could be compared like a circle. If I start from here, definitely the circle will come to me again. So, in respect of business or some other way, definitely it is beneficial for the business. And this, here I will add this thing, that this sort of, in Bangladesh, in respect of Bangladesh, of course, there are a lot of lacks actually. We are, everyone, even from our side, what exactly maybe need to do, there are a lot of things we should do in our speech already told. So, in Bangladesh, like this sort of discussions and seminars, I think we people could be much more be interested in this CSR activities. Already it is started. So before a lot of seminars, it has been given a lot of data, statistics. That's all. No?
As I would say that it's actually a personal choice who engaged. Years ago, I was here, and we weren't talking about CSR. We were talking about environmental sustainability. And now that term has come to CSR. So the social aspect is really adding on. What we did 4 years ago, we are doing it today in a different way. We are talking about the community, how we can address issues in the community. There's a lot of issues that has to be tackled on a local level rather than on a regional level. So it is actually a personal choice. It's what people choose to.
Forget about to include that one in different unit, like marketing, like HR or whatsoever. I don't know. It's my question to the expert about knowing how it include in different unit of the company the CSR. This is one. The other thing is that since the companies are also working beyond their direct workers, beside they are working also doing best for the society, greater society of the country. One thing I would like to point out here, my organization and my project is working with prisoners. I mean, these are the people who are really, really vulnerable in this society. Once the people goes inside, we cannot really imagine when he come out from the prisons. There is none to really support them. Any given time, you can see about 60 to 80,000 populations living inside prison in Bangladesh context. And almost 70% coming out as innocent after the trial has gone out. But unfortunately, there is none to really receive them in the society. They will go again, they're bound to go again doing illegal things later on. So whether the companies think about how they can support this group of people, this is the second thing. Thank you very much.
Yeah, CSR in this, see, as I told you that, we are not, there's a lot of companies that are thinking about the immediate benefit to their community, and there's a lot of companies that are thinking about what they can do to address real big issues. So what you're telling is rehabilitation of the prisoners. So once they come back, how we can help to rehabilitate them. I think this is a very elaborate project. It's not, I don't think as a company we would be able to do much. It's rather NGOs who should get involved in projects such as this, because it is a very sensitive subject. Corporates getting involved with it, it could.
And maybe you will find a company which contribute to this in the frame of corporate citizenship. But as a company, you cannot act on this. So it's my way of thinking. So last question. Is there any last question right now? Otherwise, please. And only the question, please, because we are running out of time.
Anyone can receive the
refinancing scheme.
Yeah, indeed. So anyone can receive the rate of interest at a lesser interest compared to the conventional rate. Like it can be even in single digit, from 9 to 12%. So I would like to know, like this is the one of the benefit. And the second thing is in the CSR strategy, there is a SRO guideline. Probably there are 22 areas or so, which is being implemented by NBR. So probably there are 10% of tax rebate for corporations who are complying with these CSR issues. Now I'd like to ask you guys, now do you think that this sort of strategy that is being taken by government, do you think are you really reaping the benefit of, or you are posing some difficulties? Now during my central banker, I often got cases, they are really struggling with the NBR or having some problem with the NBR. So could you please share your views if you have any difficulties with any banks or any financial institutes? Thank you.
Well, from BSRM, we have applied to Bangladesh. Yes, the procedure is very lengthy. You have to go through your bankers, and they have to prepare a case, and it has to be approved by NBR. And this is one part. Regarding that 10%, government has specific products, 47 products. If it doesn't come under that, you don't get that 10%. So what we have to do, like I'm suffering, suppose I have made a profit of 100 taka, and if I spend on CSR 5 taka, that 5 taka is not expendable. I mean, when I calculate their tax, they add this 5 taka to 100. So for doing CSR, we are paying more.
I'd like to add on that we also are involved in getting finance. That's one thing very positive by the government, that is that they have made funds available through various banks to be used, whoever wants to use it in green projects. And that's something we are using as well to invest in our green projects. It is a lengthy process, as said, and the case has to be very strong. And end of the day, it's up to them to approve the project, because all green finance funds come through the board. And because there was actually misutilization of these funds before, and that's why we are facing problems now. But yeah, I think it's a matter of how long it takes, not if we get it or not. It takes a while.
Open this conference for this topic here, and I wish that at the fifth conference maybe we will talk about the care and support and respect definition of Rudi, but that we will see, and therefore I would like to close this session, and I think we have to make a photo. Huh?
Thank you very much, moderator and the panelists, for a lively discussion, and let's have a group photo. Thank you. Dear ladies and gentlemen, that was our last panel discussion. Now I would like to hand over the floor to our Executive Director, Mr. Franz Nienhaus.
Ladies and gentlemen, dear guests, all that is between our well-deserved dinner is me, so I will keep myself very short. To sum up everything we have heard today and the discussion we have been following is not only difficult, it would also not be in line with the good ideas, with the many good ideas we've heard, and which I, of course, cannot repeat. So, just to make it short, I think what we need still is more awareness raising. We need more transparency in what CSR means, what the measures are we can take. And we need to know more about the many good practical examples we have heard of. Practical examples that can be implemented without any delay, without waiting for decisions by other parties. So, it is therefore worthwhile thinking about having something like a knowledge sharing platform on a local, on a regional basis, a sort of switchboard, somebody who connects between the different users of such CSR instruments and those who can supply them. And to go even one step further down, maybe we need something like a toolbox, instruments, how to implement CSR-related issues. I would like to keep it at that, and I'm sure we will follow up many of the items that have been discussed today. Now, coming to a close, that at the end of the conference it is a good practice to thank all those who have been involved in the preparation and implementation of this conference. Therefore, my special thanks go out to all keynote speakers, especially those who took a long way from Germany and many other Asian countries, as well as to all moderators and panelists from inside and outside Bangladesh. My special thanks also go to the audience for contributing within the question and answer sessions. And last but not least, my thanks go out to all of my staff who contributed to the smooth running of this conference, who were not only organizers, but especially during the last 5 or 6 days, also something like a fire brigade whenever problems arose. So I would like to finish off with saying thanks to my staff, and since we have had many photos, I would also like all my staff to come to the front, and we'll have a group photo of them, and that maybe gives you the chance of saying thank you to those who did all the work behind this. Thanks a lot. Thank you very much, and I would now like to invite you to our dinner. The buffet is open outside. Please enjoy your food, and I hope you will also have some more interesting discussions with all our guests. Thank you very much once again for coming and joining our conference, and I hope to see you back when our next conference is on. Thanks a lot, and have a safe way home after the dinner. Thank you.